welcome back to Finding New Films. My name's Hunter Harris. I'm the host of the show. I'm joined today
I'm Zach.
by my roommate, Zach. And Zach is returning. You may have seen Zach on episodes such as...
Ad Astra. Oh, I don't know the numericals.
Yeah, Ad Astra. And then we watched 65.
Oh god, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, he's the one to forget. And now you're back. Welcome back. I've changed it up. I tried this on the self tapes, and I now have a printer in the house, and so fuck it. I'm gonna read off the script. I think something about reading off of a computer fucks me up. I think that's why I fuck up so much.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have something tangible.
Bought a comic book today while I was out, and I just read it in like literally 5 minutes.
Really?
Because I was just like,
Oh my god.
to just fly through it.
Yeah.
And comics are very easy to read. But still, I was like, I think, because I tried to read comics digitally one time. I bought like a year subscription. They were like $60. You can read any comic you've ever made. I was like, well, no, yeah. So I got that, and I never did anything like that. Never read it.
All the scroll through a comic.
Yeah. And then you can't read it because it's, zoomed out.
Yeah.
And you can't get context of the art. You can zoom in on specific parts. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I wish I were rich because I'd just buy comics all the time, but I can't do that. But anyway, that's enough about comic books, because that's not what the show is about. Today, we watched the film. Well, I guess I watched the film. But this week we were watching and reviewing Loving Vincent from 2017. And yeah, I picked this movie. I have wanted to see this movie since 2017, and why I have not done it, I do not know. And yeah, I wasn't gonna ask, but thank you. But basically, I'm not gonna be long-winded here. I saw Saoirse Ronan in it. Loved Lady Bird that same year. Don't know why I was like, let me go check that out. That looks really cool, because I've known the story since I've known about the film. I'm like, holy shit, they painted that entire film. That is insane.
Is this story adapted from?
Probably. I did not look it up.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't sure.
I would assume so. I mean, those are real letters. I'm pretty sure that they're using in the movie.
Yeah.
So you would think. I'm moving this paper around like a yeah, I just always wanted to see this movie. It's always looked really pretty, his paintings. And then Vincent Van Gogh's she's got a really pretty style. And it sucks that he made 800 pieces of work, but
He only sold 100.
yeah,
In his lifetime, at least.
insane. And now look at how much they're worth. It's so crazy how art works. But yeah, really interesting. Never really knew anything about his death or his late life.
Yeah.
Just always known about what I'd read. I don't know how I didn't, because I have this app that's called Daily Art, and it like sends you a piece of art every day, and they love Vincent Van Gogh. The people that run that app, and they'll write an article along with the art piece of like why they picked it and stuff. And so I don't know how I'd never heard that story, because that's tragic.
Yeah.
But
He used to be like a big part of his life too.
yeah, I'm sure actually no, because in the end they showed a portrait of him. I was gonna say the postman. I was gonna say his son. I felt like was maybe a fabricated character, but there was a painting of him. So I'm sure he was a real person.
Yeah.
And that postman that's in the film was actually a painting of his.
Yeah.
So You know that Postman is real. There's
I'm assuming like all the characters were real people. I mean,
they showed
it was dramatized.
portraits of most of them at the end. So I have to imagine this movie was based off of something.
Yeah.
If it's not, what a great work!
Yeah.
God damn, you got me.
Yeah.
And you worked the fuck out of it. But yeah, I think let's get into the meat and veg of this real quick, and then we can talk more about our thoughts. Okay. So the credits, I have the runtime at 97 minutes. Oh, well, let's start at the top. Loving Vincent came out in 2017 from RBF Productions, Breakthrough Films, Trademark Films. Its runtime was 97 minutes. The writers were a brother duo. One of the brothers decided to go by Dorota Coviella. His name is D.K. Welchman.
No, where did you get that from?
D.K., I'm sure it's Dorota Coviella. Welchman. Probably to not get this to be, it's a brother, but it's a brother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, and I find wrong in that. Sorry.
DK, just email us.
My bad.
We'll settle it.
And the Q Productions at gmail.com. Dorota Coviella and Hugh Welchman were both writers and directors on this film. And another writer on this film was Jacek Denel. Yeah. And one of the editors of the film was also Dorota Coviella, as well as Justynia Wierzyńska. I hope I said that right. Music was done by Clint Mansell. Camera work was done by Tristan Oliver and Lucas Zal. And then the cast was as follows: Douglas Booth, Jerome Flynn, Robert Gulacek, Helen McCrory, Chris O'Dowd, Saoirse Ronan, John Sessions, Eleanor Tomlinson, and Aidan Turner. A lot of really, really good performances, voiceover-wise, and then the way they painted this movie was they shot it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and then they,
just used it for reference.
Yeah.
Never painting.
So they technically acted the movie out, so...
Because I was wondering, it's there's good cuts and good directing.
Yeah.
I feel like artists, if you just hand them this project, it'd be all over the fucking place.
Yeah. Give them no direction. I'm like, okay, so it's actually intense and film. So yeah, I think giving them that direction and being like, hey, can you frame for frame paint this movie that we shot in the style of Vincent Van Gogh? Yes. For price.
Yeah.
For a large price. I understand the country of Poland, and especially the Warsaw Film Council was really substantial in making this film possible. So that's really interesting to me. So shout out to them. Shout out to public art interest and funding. Isn't that interesting how when you fund culture, your people are cultured?
Yeah.
You know what my culture is? Threads by Meta.
It's okay. You're wearing an impractical jerk. Joker shirt right now.
No, the new Twitter. The new Twitter app. I'm gonna be the king of threads. But yeah, let's get into the plot. It's not too long, but I hope that having it printed out, I'm not gonna make too many mistakes. And now it is going to be the worst one that I've heard.
Yeah. I'm just gonna interrupt you every 30 seconds.
What did you say? Speak up.
Cough in the mic.
Speak up. I didn't hear that. You're mumbling.
Again? I don't think the mic.
Enunciate. That wasn't a French accent. Okay. The plot is as follows. 1 year after Vincent Van Gogh's suicide, postman Joseph Roulin, as he kept saying in the movie, asks his son Armand to deliver Van Gogh's. He kept saying Van Gogh, so I'm gonna guess that's the actual way to say it. to deliver Van Gogh's last letter to his brother Theo. Rouland finds the death suspicious as merely weeks earlier Van Gogh I can't do it. Claimed through letters that his mood was calm and normal. Armand reluctantly agrees and heads for Paris. Pere Tanguy, a Montmartre's art supplier, tells Armand that Theo actually died 6 months after Vincent. He suggests that Armand travel to Auvers-sur-Oise and look for Dr. Paul Gachet, who housed Van Gogh after his release from an asylum who housed Van Gogh after his release from an asylum, shared his love for art, and attended the funeral. Once there, Armand learns that the doctor is out on business, so he stays in that same inn that Van Gogh did during his time in the area. There he meets the temporary proprietress, Adeline Revaux, what a name, who was fond of Van Gogh and who was also surprised by his death. At her suggestion, Armand visits the local boatman who informs him that Van Gogh kept close company with Dr. Gachet's sheltered daughter, Marguerite. When Armand visits her, Marguerite denies and is angered when Armand implies that Van Gogh's suicidal mood could have resulted in an argument with her father. Throughout the investigation, Armand begins to suspect that a local boy named René Secretan, who is reported to have enjoyed tormenting Van Gogh, was in possession of a gun, had often drunkenly brandished it around town, and was known as the village idiot. Jesus Christ. Dr. Mazary, who examined Van Gogh, also claims that the shot must have come from a few feet away, ruling out suicide. When Armand implicates the René, Marguerite confesses that she was in close but not romantic relations with Van Gogh, but she does not believe that René was capable of murder. Dr. Gachet finally returns and promises to deliver Armand's letter to Theo's widow. He admits there was an argument between them. Van Gogh accused Gachet of being a coward for not pursuing his dreams, to which Gachet angrily accused Van Gogh of worsening Theo's health by overly depending on his brother. Gachet posits that this accusation drove Van Gogh to suicide in order to release Thoreau from this burden. After Armand returns home, postman Rouland later receives word from Theo's widow, Joanna, thanking Armand for returning the letter. Joanna attaches to her letter to Armand one of Van Gogh's letters to her, signed, quote unquote, "Your loving Vincent." And that is loving Vincent. So I'll jump into the themes while we got it hot on the press. I have beauty of simplicity. I have capitalism and the effects on an individual. I have character, destruction, and building up. Circle of life, coming of age, companionship is salvation, the dangers of ignorance, darkness and light, death, inevitable or tragedy, desire to escape, destruction of beauty, disillusionment and dreams, family, a blessing or a curse, fate and free will, hazards of passing judgment, identity crisis, individual versus society, loneliness as a destructive force, losing hope, nature is beauty, power of words, vulnerability of the meek and the vulnerability of the strong in working class struggles. And that's it for me talking. What were your initial thoughts going into this movie?
Well, I was excited. You hyped it up. After a couple beers, you started talking about loving Vincent, and how it was all painted, frame for frame. It's just a cool concept to me. Especially in his style. I was wondering, like, how hard it must have been to find, like, painters to commission for this who, like, work in the same style, like, as Van Gogh. But, like, after watching the movie, I was moved. I've never, like you said, I've never known the story of Van Gogh. I've only ever seen his paintings. We had, like, the Van Gogh tour in Raleigh. So, like, I've only ever seen, like, the floral paintings that he's done and everything like that, but yeah, I've only ever known about him cutting his ear off. I thought that was related to his death, which, I mean, kind of is, but his suicide was just kind of its own complete thing. Yeah, this movie was enlightening. Plus, like, when was this movie? Like,
I think it was set in 1890.
1890. It was such a different world back then. I was thinking about, like, people just kind of. I feel like most people back then would be kind of sedentary and, like, just stay in their village for most of their life. But people like Van Gogh, it must have been, like, a crazy life. Like, going from, like, Paris to France. Paris isn't France. My bad. But, you know, like, all over Europe and stuff like that.
From Holland to France to Italy, all
Like,
these places.
the life of an artist back then is, like, so different from what I think, like, an artist is in, like, today's standards. But yeah, like, the whole, him following his dreams as an artist is pretty much, like, what led to his death, too.
His wanting to be an artist, he didn't realize the burden that he was putting on other people, or maybe he did. And on those days where he's painting, he's like, "This is shit. This looks like shit. I hate this." Because, you know, I've had those days.
Yeah.
I'm editing this very podcast.
Yeah.
Shit. Nobody cares. It's fucking stupid. And it is. But
Hunter sold one podcast in his entire life, but he went on to be the father of modern podcasts.
if I accidentally shoot myself in the back, I'm gonna be like, blame someone.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna go out with a bang, start shit. Yeah, he's like right before I know it, I can feel him, like my body is starting to get cold, and I like pull someone in, and I was like, "It was Trevor."
Yeah.
Like, oh, I had to stir something. He wasn't even there the day. I would eat, but that would be funny. I don't know about hilarious, but
yeah,
I would think it was.
Yeah, you leave the road causing some shit.
That'd be enough for me. You know, his life was very sad. Obviously, him pursuing his dreams brought this sadness, and it was really sad to watch through those like flashbacks, seeing him, you know, kind of break down. Really, it was really hard to watch. It was really like a highly emotional movie.
Yeah. Yeah, those flashback scenes, I almost thought they were, like, just real. Like, the painting in those scenes felt so realistic. It felt very different from, like, the rest of the movie.
I did enjoy the saturated and the unsaturated being the difference between the flashbacks, because I feel like if you would just pop back into them and they're, like, the same.
Yeah.
You would have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
So... good choice by the directors on that one. I do want to note, team of over 100 painters made this movie possible. 100 painters. Oh, absolutely insane. This is the first film I have ever seen that is 12 frames per second.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever see another one.
No, definitely not live action.
But so that's really interesting. This movie actually was nominated for Best Animated Feature, so it is, I'm pretty sure, considered animated, because the way they do the painting would be similar to the way that you do motion capture.
Yeah.
So that's, I think they were not allowed to be considered as a live action film because of how they had.
Yeah, I mean, the final product is, even though they film it live action, it's just a process.
I'm sure the directors are okay with it.
Yeah, like,
I'm sure they knew what they were getting into.
They won the award and they deserved it. So.
I don't know that they won.
You just said nominated.
Yeah, they did get nominated. I remember being like, well, fucking hell, for the amount of work they did, they should win.
I think probably Boss Baby got it or something. Despicable Me Too.
I don't have anything to look at.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't fucking Boss. I know Boss Baby was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Look that up.
yeah.
Boss Baby, I'm pretty sure Boss Baby was nominated for an Oscar, and I'm pretty sure this lost the Oscar. For nominated for best animated. But yeah, this film was just like utterly beautiful in every way.
It really was.
Just every single frame, is just absolutely beautiful. And the range of emotion is felt very deeply. And I think the amount of range of emotion that they cover is really profound.
And it was Utopia, by the way.
Utopia.
Yeah.
The one over this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Was Boss Baby nominated?
It was not. No. No, I just pulled that out of my ass.
I thought one of those movies that was like, why is what? It may have been Zootopia. I think it was Zootopia where I was just like, why is this nominated?
Yeah.
And then it won. But
Well, I mean, there's been no animated porn made from Loving Vincent, but there's been tons of Zootopia. So.
that is true. I forget that we're talking about Hollywood here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to the little emotion part. All the emotions, all the like darker, sadder emotions are really rough, and the postman's son Armand is, put up against a lot of really tough to swallow things that you really didn't want to believe about Vincent. It's really cool to see that that kind of conflict in the movie where he doesn't really want to believe this about a man that he thinks so highly of.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he just adores this man because of how his father speaks of him.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously loves his father. You can tell that by the way the scenes are written with his father and how his father treats him in there. You can infer about their relationship from that. I don't know, man. It felt so natural and so this movie is very heartwarming, even though it's sad and so much to do with death. It was like heartwarming, very, very heartwarming.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seemed like Armand didn't really care for Vincent, like in the beginning of the film, at least.
Yeah,
because I mean, he practically had to like his father had to like convince him to deliver the letter.
yeah. I think that was more of him being a selfish person than it was of him actually thinking that about Vincent.
Yeah, because the main character does have his own demons that he fights.
Yeah, I think he sees himself in Vincent a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's alluded to as well with the ending of the movie and Dr. Gaucher giving him the copy note and being like, you're going on your journey. This is the note that Vincent had when he was starting his journey. So, just that alone was a really cool callback in a way to tie the film all the way together.
Yeah.
Or tie it all the way back around. That I thought was just really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's just a really, really well-made film by people who had a very clear vision of what they wanted to do. That's something in my eye. Of what they wanted to do, and it was really cool to watch.
And plus, it never really like concludes either. Like, I mean, you don't really know what happened to Vincent. He may have been killed or like shot by that kid, but he may have like committed suicide. But that's not the point. Like, it's just a story. Yeah.
One of my notes here does say that Gaucher is like the guiltiest man in the world for someone who like probably did not do it.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that are irregularities that would stack up against him.
Yeah, like
And then-
today's court.
Yeah, and then if you actually like spent the time to like you believe in gossip and things like that, you could very well easily believe that Gachet was the man who killed Vincent. But you know,
Set up a string board. It all leads back to the Gachet.
that'll be the thumbnail. But yeah, I think also just the way that the movie is written, I think you kind of believe Gachet at the end of the movie because he talks so endearingly about Vincent. You almost kind of have to believe what he says.
Shit, I fell for it.
Yeah, like I said, he got my ass. So, you know,
That's what fucking shot himself. That's what Gachet said. Like, can blame no one.
did you see he was crying on the bed? He was crying, and he was like at the bedside, and he was crying, and that's what he said he was doing.
Fucking chopped off his ear and gave it to a whore. What the hell was that about?
Do you know? He was like actually mad about it. That's how you know that he was a real friend. He's like, this motherfucker. He was like talking shit. Yeah, but and do you know how hard it is getting a man in the 1890s to make me cry?
Oh yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, that man was Gachet was in the army.
Exactly.
He was an army
In the
vet.
army in the 1800s, and he was like, "Yeah, I was crying." Damn, you love this man. Yeah, shut the fuck. I'm sure that's what the vernacular there.
Yeah. Y'all fuck.
Damn, did y'all fuck?
Factor cap.
I think we got like a minute left on this. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and send it to the break early, and we'll be back in a second. Any quick last like snap 10-second talk you want to get out?
Oh no.
Come on, man.
Oh no.
Asking for something.
Like and subscribe.
Rolling. We're rolling. Quiet on set, please. Bang. Can I get quiet on set? Quiet on set. Bang. I killed a man. On set. The Alec Baldwin story.
Oh god.
Lifetimes.
Baldwin.
Lifetimes. Oh god. See the angle had to come from behind the camera.
Yeah. It wasn't even my gun.
Oh no. Well, that has to go in. Welcome back to the second part of this show. You know that break thing I just did was like a gimmick. I didn't need to actually go to break early, and then I wasted like 20 more seconds. This is a business. Back to Loving Vincent. Let's see. I really enjoyed how Armand had a really cool relationship with the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Their dialogue was really cool.
Yeah.
I just thought they had a really good chemistry, and the voiceover was just really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. The voiceover was just really well done.
Yeah. That was tight.
It's tight as fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly, chill ass movie.
Yeah. Fucking say what you want to say about this movie. It's fucking tight as fuck.
I have this movie. This movie is very dainty.
Dainty?
Yeah.
How so?
Just in the more I guess, transitional shots of
Mhm.
like him just walking through the field.
Oh, yeah.
And just the whole overall feel of the movie, even though they're talking about something that's very, very like
Mhm.
very
Deep.
deep
Yeah.
and emotional and death, and
It is just pretty.
it's
Yeah.
just very pretty and like
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And that's how Vincent painted. So I think that's kind of why it feels that way.
Mhm.
But and he did say that Vincent suffered from melancholia, so he was like a heavily romantic person and really loved romanticizing things. And yeah, can relate.
Mhm.
What else do I have? Oh yeah, this whole story, like the way that it is threaded together, I felt like was just really, really good.
Mhm.
Like from the very beginning of the movie to the very end, I just feel like this movie had a great through line, and it never wasted a second.
It's just like a good 2 weeks, and it's just like straight path.
Yeah,
It's really easy to follow along to that.
it's never a wasted moment.
Mhm.
The dialogue always feels important. And it never feels like, even if they're not, being direct with one another, like they're not, you can still infer pretty easily into the dialogue what they're actually saying. And it's a really easy movie to put together. And there is a thing with this movie, too, for me at least. I guess I want to ask you if you feel this way. Is there, like, you could come out of this movie 3 different ways, um, and have like a different interpretation if you really wanted to of what happened.
Oh yeah,
Like
about like what happened to Vincent.
Yeah, you could believe what Masri said. You could believe what Gachet said.
Yeah.
You could believe what Armand had originally thought about Perret or whatever his name was.
I mean, like throughout the whole movie, Armand's just getting different like information from all these different people. So I mean, it is kind of like you can, because they left off on Gachet being the very final bit. Like I feel like it's more inclined to believe what he said. But I mean, like any of the stories that he heard from the innkeeper girl or the nanny or the daughter, like any of those stack up,
Right. And it really just goes back to just the power of words, and if you really believe everything that is said to you, it's not a great way to go through life or to live,
I think that was like shown too, because Armand, he get told one story and he goes, okay, that's the fucking story.
Yeah, no, I fucking got
and then he'd
it.
like confront one person and be like, why the fuck is like Vincent dead? What's going on? And they tell him another story and he goes, wait a minute, no, that's right.
I'm sure Vincent's supposed to be like us, like, oh, he's right. That's the story. Wait a minute, that tracks. I like what that sounds good. It's a goodness.
Yeah, it's making sense. Good sense.
I think the Knives Out, if you've seen that, I think that does that same thing very well. It's like,
it always throws you off.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah,
that
adds up.
And then even with Glass Onion, even though I don't think it was as good as Knives Out, the sequel movie, he does a really good job in both to make you kind of like, oh shit.
I didn't see that coming. Yeah.
I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that third one. There's another one coming out.
Yeah.
They want to keep doing
I'm excited.
the same character.
I love Knives Out for the first one.
I like the first one a lot.
Chris,
I like the second one leaving the theaters, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, And the less I like it.
Wait, you want to see that in theaters?
Yeah.
The second one?
I saw both in theaters.
Oh shit! I only saw the first one. I just watched the second one on Netflix.
It only came out in theaters for I think a week.
Oh, okay.
So I think me and Chris who was on the Fear and Loathing in
Oh,
Las
yeah.
Vegas episode.
Yeah.
As you recall.
A little plug.
Yeah, no, we went to that.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. I think it was better to see in theaters. I think that movie, honestly, on streaming, I don't think that's the right place for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think those like mystery movies have to have that big movie feel.
Yeah.
I think that's what gives them the big aura.
Yeah, I feel that.
But you just get you get so many cliff notes from Twitter, and you're like, oh, I guess I gotta fucking check out this Netflix thing.
You're watching on your little like TV speakers, like.
Yeah, and it just doesn't give the full feel, and it doesn't. The shock is so much less. In that movie, spoiler alert for Glass Onion.
Yeah.
In that movie, when the sister gets shot, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In the theater.
No!
And I just don't feel like that you would have the same feel when you're sitting in your house and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You more want to make a joke out of it because it's, I don't know. At least maybe that's me making a joke out of that.
Yeah.
But,
anyways, Vincent's death was funny as fuck too.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I was thinking it though. But no, yeah, I just think I would have loved to see this movie in theaters.
Yeah.
I hope Alamo Draft House, which we have one in Raleigh, so that's fun.
They always play like really, really deep cuts. Siri, what the hell?
No one's calling you, whore.
What the hell?
Como se dice?
Yeah. Holy frick.
Sorry, the audio might be fucked up now.
We'll see. Should we just like loop back on everything we said?
No. I think all we really said was some fucked up stuff about
We can go and like do a voiceover and post.
that would be really, really good. Why?
Is it coming back on again?
Yeah, I think it might be something with this.
That's strange.
Anyways, we're gonna cut all that anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just overall, I don't think we really need to spend that much more time on this movie. I didn't write a lot of stuff down because this movie had me like so just captured.
Yeah.
That
it was like an hour and 30 minutes. Like you just you know.
And it's so visually pleasing, and so the music was really nice. It went with it too.
Mm-hmm.
You barely notice it because of how well it just.
I loved the music
seamlessly.
in this. It was so pretty.
Yeah, and I think that helped me. That was also what gave me like the dainty feel.
Yeah.
I think that like specific compositions that are done in that time period are really dainty in general. Fuck off. No one's calling you. Dumbass.
Coming on.
Yes.
Bro, what?
The fuck, bro? The fuck, Brody?
Am I like hitting something?
Maybe. Technical difficulty.
Dickles.
That's cool.
Okay.
Okie dokie. I guess.
Man.
Anyway, but yeah, this movie kind of just captures your eye and doesn't really give you a chance to really sit around with it and
fuck around
and want to write notes out and do all of that. But this movie is very beautiful. It has a very great rewatchable quality. It has a very fast pace. It's a great movie for a Sunday afternoon. Just chilling.
I can see that.
Just chilling.
Maybe during a rainstorm.
Yeah, nothing going on. A very good rain movie. Yeah, very good rain movie. But,
yeah, out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
10 out of 10 rain movie. But let's get over to the list because my phone is acting like a cunt right now. Anyways, So we're gonna get to the bottom here, and I will go ahead and rate the movie. I gave it an 8.1. Oof. I'm gonna pull this up here for
now. Why the 10th?
I didn't want to have an 8.
That's fair. I give this movie like a 9. It's just a very good movie. It's so easy to watch.
I don't disagree.
It's just very enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know why I didn't give it a higher score. I guess it didn't really. I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, it's your truth.
Yeah, it's just
Your
my
experience.
it's just my truth. And I'm gonna live it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So this gets dude, leave it alone! Ah! You're gonna drive me insane. 17.1. Oh wow. That .1 puts it
Over
right
Gone
above
Girl.
Gone Girl, Clerks, and Girl. That .1 doing legwork,
Absolutely
the legwork
everything.
of the century, taking the 8th spot. Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. And that's
Yeah,
what we
why
do
the
it for.
10th?
And that's what we do it for.
You know what? I'm an 8.9 now.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Damn, this audio's gonna be fucked up.
Has
It'll be alright. If the audio's fucked up, I'll just use the audio from the camera, so.
this ever happened before?
No,
So,
but
I mean, it might be okay. You
honestly,
never
the
know.
catharsis of it all is fine.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, fuck this thing so bad.
That's strange, though.
You know what? It might be. One sec. It might have been that. There was tension in the cord. Perhaps. Who knows?
Completely
Apple
agree.
products fucking suck.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the deal. It went away real quick when I said Apple products fucking suck.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. Yeah. Anyways, I will probably have to use the camera audio. I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in to Finding New Films' 26th episode. I want to thank Zach for being on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, brother.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks, brother.
I want to thank my fans, my mom especially. She put me through school to be here.
Here specifically.
Yeah.
Nowhere else. So I pay Zach the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go. I have to get into promo hour. Go watch our Monday show. That is a spin-off of this show. It has the same exact premise, but it is just me doing solo reviews on movies that I've always been interested in watching. This past Monday, I did El Mariachi from 1982, which is Robert Rodriguez's first movie, who is famous for directing the Spy Kids series.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that name sounded familiar.
He also did movies like Machete. He's
That was a crazy discography.
He's worked with Quentin Tarantino. I almost said Robert De Niro there, but it was Quentin Tarantino. He's written and directed with Quentin Tarantino. I don't know why I want to say Robert Tarantino.
Robert Tarantino.
You know Robbie, good old Robbie Tarantino.
Robbie.
But yeah, so we watched El Mariachi. It was a really fun movie. Go check that review out.
The Basement Tapes coming out?
Yeah, the Basement Tapes just came out this past Wednesday. That's me and Trevor just chilling, talking. We talked Starfield, Secret Invasion, the Marvel show, not the long-running comic. But we also talked like Cool Ranch Papadillas, just important topics. Go check out Greg and Jeff Give the Hi-Hat this Sunday at midnight. I think they are adding visuals.
Oh shit! Have they just been
That's
audio?
fun. Yeah, they've just been audio only, and I think they want to do.
You're gonna get in a Zoom call together.
No, this is not a plug. They're going to use this app called Riverside.fm. I found it this morning because we filmed. I was guest on their podcast last night. You came in the room when I was
that's
plugging
what
the
that
podcast,
was.
and and this podcast. I was plugging this podcast, and basically, we go to end it. Me and Greg left the podcast. We had done an hour, 20 minutes about Quentin Tarantino, funnily enough. And it was so weird. We both left the call, and then my dad goes to leave the call, and we're using the Spotify for Podcasters app. Maybe I shouldn't be dropping app names.
Yeah.
Just in case they want to be like, well, fuck you guys.
Just redacted.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he goes to end it and it won't end, and he just kind of let it run all night and it never ended, and then it was like, oh, it's gone. So the whole episode is just gone into space, into the space-time continuum. Never to be seen again. So that was really annoying, but I think they're just gonna do a little shorty episode with them debuting their video. So that'll be cool. I gotta figure out how to edit that because it's gonna be like on top of each other because they're both on phones. I gotta figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
So actually, I think if they turn their phones sideways, I'll be able. I think it'll go side by side. I gotta figure that out. That's an editing thing. I don't know what I'm talking about on the podcast. But anyways,
any viewers out there, drop some tips down in the comments section.
You guys know how to make a podcast.
Yeah. Drop some tutorials down in the comments.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn this off because it's honestly not even getting anything at this point. I'll just use the audio from that. But, yeah, holy shit. Yeah, it's just this. I think it's this dongle, I think.
That's so strange.
I don't know. It was still doing it, even after. But, yeah, yeah, so go check out Greg and Jeff Give the Hi-Hat. It may come out this Sunday at midnight. It may come out next Sunday at midnight. I'm not exactly sure. They did say that they were going to do a makeup episode, or they might do, and I haven't heard from my dad, so I'm gonna guess they're doing it. I don't know. Just stay in the loop on that. Otherwise, go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us. Honestly, genuinely, I'm about to start all of these podcasts. I'm about to start a Threads page for all of them. I have not had Twitter for them because Twitter sucks.
Yeah.
Like, Twitter, since Elon Musk has taken it over, has genuinely had the life sucked out of it, and its soul sucked out of it. Many of you probably argue that happened 10 years ago, but you know, I digress. I would say that like 2017 Twitter was like fine.
Yeah.
And then it just took a super dark turn in like 2019, 2020, obviously in 2020 because of everything, but that place sucked.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say about that. So I'm going to start Threads pages for those, and I think I might just start posting reels of shows. Got to figure out how to edit those.
Yeah. Just little snippets of like shows and movies.
So even if you don't watch the full episode, I can give you a little piece of it and maybe it'll entice you, seduce you maybe. But yeah, I'm riffing now. Goodbye, everybody. Tune in next week for Finding New Films. I don't know who the guest is. I don't know what the movie is. Just tune in for it. Next Monday FNFSL tapes, we are going to be doing the Claire Denis film, 35 Shots of Rum, for 2008. And that's all I have to plug. Thank you very much, and good night.